Hi everyone, so today we're going to make a year 8 recipe which is rock cakes. One of the first things year 8 make. They actually all love them, really raved about them when we made them. I'm just going to make them and then put the quantities on later because I'm actually making double, so it will confuse you thinking why am I using so much. Alright, so here we go. So in the bowl we have some self-raising flour. What we're then going to do, I'm going to add some baking powder. Alright, so remember, make sure the baking is flat, so flat right to the side. What we're then going to do is add our sugar. This is actually caster sugar. You could use granulated sugar as well. And then we have the butter. So no, I've cut the butter up into cubes and that goes in. All right, so what we do now then is what we've seen before is the rubbing in method. All right, so you get your hands in and you rub the large pieces of butter in with the flour and the sugar and the baking powder. This will take 20 seconds really. It depends on how cold the butter is. All right, if it's like rock solid out the fridge, it will take longer. If it's too soft, it can be a problem actually because it can kind of make the dough come together like a shortbread and you don't want it together. You're literally making like a crumble. All right, so incorporating it through. Okay, there's a chunk there. So obviously just visually look. All right, so we're cooking. Often a recipe might say, you know, certain instructions, but you need to use your ears. If you hear something obviously frying too quick or something in the oven that's obviously making a wrong sound, then, you know, just because the recipe book doesn't say it or the recipe doesn't say it, doesn't mean you don't do it. So, right, so there we go. I think that's probably longer than 20 seconds, but you kind of got the gist. Just make sure that everything's mixed in at the bottom. Obviously flour can sometimes sit at the bottom of the bowl. Okay, now at this point, we put in our dried fruit. Okay, literally just standard dried fruit. I'm going to use, because I'm making double, I'm going to be using what looks like quite a lot. Okay, there we go. You want a decent amount of dried fruit, all right, for rock cakes, because otherwise they're a bit dull. Otherwise, you know, you do want a little bit of fruit in there. So let's move that just to one side, just for 1 second. I'm quickly going to wash my hands. Don't forget to wash your hands as well, by the way. So 20 seconds. Sing happy birthday twice, or whatever works for you. So keeping clean all the time, remember. Okay, in a measuring jug, we're going to put, in my instance, 2 eggs. A couple of teaspoons of vanilla. 1 teaspoon again. So 1 and 2. And then actually, when we want some milk as well. Again, the actual quantity for you will be in the description. So let's get all that out of the way. Give that a little mix round. Bring this back in. Now, like normal, A goes into B. All right, so the wet goes into the dry. You don't really ever, occasionally, but with cakes, very rarely put the dry into the wet. It's the wet into the dry. All right, so that goes in. Make sure you scrape it all out. And all you then want to do is mix it around, and this will make, whoops, a soft dough. So keep mixing. At this point, remember, you may need to add a little bit more liquid. It does kind of depend on how well it comes together. So the liquid you would add is milk. All right, you wouldn't add any more eggs or anything like that. All right, and certainly not water or anything like that. So again, so although I put in my recipe says 2 tablespoons of the quantity I'm making, actually that's obviously not enough. All right, because I can see it's not enough. So, bit in, minimal. Never chuck loads in, because if it becomes too wet, then it actually is a real problem. all right, because then you've then got to add more flour, and that will completely change the you know, the actual recipe itself. Okay, so you don't mix it too much, otherwise it will generate the gluten in the flour, and that will make them kind of really tough. What you're looking for then, unsurprisingly, is a doughy type mixture. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that in a second and put them on the tray. Let's put them on the tray then. So one thing you can do, which I didn't say actually, is that you can put some extra flavourings if you want. Be a bit careful with that, because it's not meant to be a relatively plain but tasty cake. You can put a little bit of spice in, say cinnamon or nutmeg. A little bit of grated lemon rinds would be quite nice. I'm just going to put in a little bit of cinnamon, just because I quite like it, basically. But let's put that in. Give that another quick moosh up. Again, note how the mixture is, right? So it isn't wet at all. All right, the mixture is not wet. It isn't sloppy. It holds together. But like I say, you may need to add another teaspoon or so of milk, just to get it to what you want. So you can see I can actually pick it up with my hands. Okay, so, and that's the point. So what you now want to do, so it's drier than a regular cake mixture. It tends to be quite liquid. What you now want to do is make them into kind of rough golf ball shapes, or sizes even. I don't play golf, but I think that's about a golf ball shape. And put them on a baking tray. And you need to, I'm going to switch this around. Okay, so again, like most cooking, baking, keep things the same size, right? It's no good doing a massive one and then a small one, because one will burn and one won't cook. These will spread and rise quite a lot. So actually you're gonna have to possibly do a few runs here. So if you've got, you know, a couple of shelves in your oven, you're probably gonna need one whole oven to do this, all right? So I'm gonna do that now, because hopefully you can see that will give them space to spread and to rise, right? So the oven was already on. A little bit different, normally I say 180, but actually this is 160. And they're gonna take 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so I'll see you in 15, 20 minutes and show you what the final product looks like. So mine have been in the oven for exactly 18 minutes. The oven was preheated. All right, it depends on your oven. Gas might cut out longer or shorter, or electric, or it depends on how your oven works. You need to kind of look that they go brown on the top and on the bottom. All right, they are quite fragile when they come out, so like most cakes, allow them to cool down and then you can start moving them around. But as you see, Alexa, stop. There we go, that was my 20-minute timer. So we went from a golf ball shape, and as you see, they've now spread out. But this is a really easy, very few ingredients, amazing rock cake. Please try them. Send me a picture if you do so. I'd love to see them. So cookingmrdix@gmail.com, and I'll see you all soon.